And welcome back to Sports Today. So, we normally bring you this video every single day, which of course helps you recount some interesting things that you may or may not have missed out on whilst you were catching up on some all important rest. Now, of course, the world of sport is such that it never really sleeps, which is why it's important for you and for us really to all stay updated and catch up with the latest happenings from the world of sport. With that out of the way, let's get straight to it. And one of the first things that we have to talk about is, of course, that all important Ashes first test, which, of course, many people say great advertisement for the sport. It showed what Test cricket is all about, and it's easy to understand why. This was a match that really went the distance. And one of the key things that helped it really go that distance in the first place was England's declaration on the first day of the match itself. However, many would also make the rather valid argument that one of the reasons they ended up on the losing side was because they probably ended up making that declaration. That was certainly an argument a lot of people on social media had, but according to skipper Ben Stokes himself, he says he wouldn't regret it, and if he could go back in time, he wouldn't change that at all. This is what he had told local broadcaster Sky Sports after the match ended. He's saying that I saw the declaration as an opportunity to pounce on Australia. No one likes to go out for 20 minutes at the back end of the day, scoring 390 and then being able to declare sends a message to Australia about how we want to take them on. And that's a fair point, really, because again, many people were caught off guard by the decision. And one of the reasons most people felt he did it was because, well, they wanted to be aggressive, especially keeping in mind that rain was forecast over the course of the test match and that it would actually interrupt play, which, truth be told, it definitely did. It arrived on day 3, and then of course day 5 you saw a lot of rain actually wash out the entire session or entire first session of the match. That being said, you can let us know if you think it was the right or wrong decision. I certainly found it intriguing, and truth be told, if you want Test cricket to be result oriented, then you need to be doing such things. Otherwise, it would have been very easy for him to ensure that the team bat through the day, maybe even another session on the second. And if he had done that, sure, England would have had more runs on the board, but there's also every possibility we wouldn't have had the kind of result that we did. Sticking to cricket news, one of the people who has, of course, been rather inspired, let's say, by MS Dhoni is current Afghanistan wicketkeeper batsman Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Now, of course, Dhoni has inspired a lot of people with the way he bats and the way he is behind the stumps. And Gurbaz definitely has spoken about it in the past. And Dhoni now has actually gone as far as sending Gurbaz a jersey on Instagram, through let's say international mail, and he sent him that jersey which has a signature of his. In fact, taking to Instagram, Gurbaz actually posted the video where he can be seen holding up the jersey, and he said that thank you MS Dhoni sir for sending the gift all the way from India. He also shared that same post on his story with a gif that said the word respect. Definitely a great gesture from Dhoni, and of course even during the IPL itself, Dhoni was constantly actually doing these sort of things for people. You remember he signed Sunil Gavaskar's shirt. He was also posing for pictures with a lot of people. So it was something that fueled retirement talks, even though he had pretty much himself confirmed that he is not going to be retiring and that he intends coming back for one more year come 2024. Speaking of Dhoni, obviously one of the reasons people love him was because he was one of those captains who led India to a lot of success. But even his captaincy at that point was not a sure shot certain thing. When he was given the captaincy, of course, it was during the T20 World Cup, or the inaugural World T20 that was held in 2007. And Dilip Vengsarkar, who of course was part of the selectors committee at that point in time, recently opened up and spoke about what it is that made them go with Dhoni as a captain. And he said that apart from Dhoni being an automatic choice in the team, you have to look at a player's cricketing acumen, their body language, their ability to lead from the front, and their man management skills. We saw Dhoni's approach to the game, his body language, and how he spoke to others, and the feedback that we got from everyone was very, very positive. So that was one of the main reasons why they chose to go with MS in, of course, that role as the captain of a young Indian side in the World T20. And it was a decision that had plenty of positive ramifications for India because, of course, Dhoni would go on to become an all-format captain and, of course, lead India not only to a World T20 but also an ODI World Cup and a Champions Trophy victory, becoming the first captain to actually complete the set as far as ICC trophies were concerned. Switching our focus now from the world of cricket to the world of football, and Cristiano Ronaldo made a historic 200th international appearance for Portugal against Iceland. And not only that, he ended up scoring a late winner to ensure that their perfect record in the Euro 2024 qualifying group continued. And it's a pretty big achievement, really, when you think about it, because Ronaldo is the first person to actually get to this mark. And we've done a video also, it's in the short section if you want to check it out, when he had said very clearly that he doesn't actually want to give up playing for Portugal and he wants to stay playing for as long as he can, because that's the kind of pride and love that he gets for representing his country. And this is despite the fact that he's now playing his club football in Saudi Arabia. Another bit of football news, speaking of Saudi Arabia, former Chelsea midfielder N'Golo Kante has now joined Al Ittihad, the Saudi Arabian side. Were long rumored to be in contention for his signature, and they've now gotten his signature. They've confirmed his appearance on their Twitter account. So that's an interesting move, really, and it does signal that Kante is perhaps winding down his career now, because really he's been, let's say, plagued with injuries for the past couple of years. Even last year, he didn't really make too many appearances for Chelsea. In fact, more often than not, he was spending time off the field and in the injury treatment room. So all the best to Kante. Of course, he's someone who's won a lot. He's won multiple Premier Leagues, the World Cup, everything really that you can think of. He's won pretty much every trophy. So he's riding off into the sunset on a nice contract, undoubtedly, with Al Ittihad. Another bit of interesting news, and this time not so great news. Belgium are seeing a little bit of controversy with one of their vice captains, Thibaut Courtois. Now, Thibaut Courtois had actually, been named one of the vice captains of the side very recently, and he was one of the vice captains alongside Romelu Lukaku, with Kevin De Bruyne being the captain of the side. Unfortunately, his future is now in doubt because he was unhappy at the fact that in Kevin De Bruyne's absence, he was not named captain for the first time. Instead, the armband was given to Lukaku. He actually walked out of the international camp. So pretty interesting times really for the Real Madrid goalkeeper, who we know is top class, but who unfortunately doesn't seem to be able to stay out of such trouble. Switching our focus now from the world of football to athletics and beyond. And Vinesh Fogart will likely be back in competition in next month's Poliak Imre and Varga Janos Memorial Competition that is set to be held in Budapest. The main reason this is notable is, of course, is that Fogart hasn't been in competitive action for over 10 months because she and other wrestlers have, of course, been busy in protest against the WFI and the incumbent WFI president. So we could very well be set to be seeing her return to the wrestling mat. This has been cleared, of course, by the ad hoc committee which is running the sport right now, as well as officials from the government's top scheme. So we have, of course, seen, that they've slowly but surely there have been signs of their resumption of normal life. A lot of them have gone back to their jobs, and now Vinesh Fogart is also heading back to the mat. When the others will get to do that, well, that's something we'll know soon enough, hopefully. And last but not least, a bit of a, let's say, interesting update regarding the 2024 Olympics in Paris. So the headquarters of the Paris 2024 Olympics Organizing Committee had actually been raided by the police, and it was part of an investigation into alleged embezzlement of public funds and favoritism. Again, hardly the best of headlines that you would want to be associating with an event that really means so much to everyone the world over. But let's see where it goes. Nothing really has been confirmed or denied as far as what all they found, or if anything has been found. But this seems to be one of those developing stories that probably won't be going away anytime soon. And that's it from us from this edition of the Morning Wrap with Sports Today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoy our work, please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports Today app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, you can go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side though, goodbye and stay tuned to Sports Today.